Timeline history of Indonesia. Print media. The history of print media in Indonesia dates back to the colonial period when the Dutch East Indies was under Dutch colonial rule. Here is a brief overview of the print media history in Indonesia. Dutch colonial period, 17th to early 20th century. The first newspaper in Indonesia, Batavia Nouvelles, was published in Batavia, now Jakarta, in 1744 by the Dutch colonial government. The publication of newspapers was limited during this period, and most of them were in the Dutch language. The growth of the press was restricted, and censorship was common under the colonial authorities. National awakening period, early 20th century. During the early 20th century, Indonesian nationalism began to emerge, leading to the rise of nationalistic newspapers and magazines. Prominent nationalistic figures such as Sukarno, Muhammad Hatta, and Sudan Syahrir were involved in publishing nationalist newspapers. The newspapers and magazines played a crucial role in spreading ideas of independence and fostering a sense of national identity among the Indonesian people. Japanese occupation, 1942-1945. During World War II, Japan occupied Indonesia, and they controlled the media. The Japanese established newspapers that supported their propaganda and promoted their policies. The Japanese occupation period marked an important phase in the development of the Indonesian press as it provided an opportunity for many Indonesians to work in the media industry. Independence and post-independence era, 1945 onwards. After Indonesia proclaimed its independence in 1945, the press played a significant role in shaping the nation's identity and supporting the struggle for independence. Numerous newspapers emerged during this period, reflecting diverse political and ideological perspectives. The Indonesian government introduced press regulations, including the press law in 1999, which aimed to protect freedom of the press while ensuring responsible journalism. Modern era and digital transformation. In recent decades, Indonesia has witnessed a shift from traditional print media to digital platforms. Many newspapers have developed online editions and embraced digital journalism to cater to the changing media consumption habits of the population. The rise of social media and online news portals has provided new avenues for news dissemination and citizen journalism. However, print media still holds relevance in Indonesia, with several newspapers and magazines continuing to be published. Electronic media. The history of electronic media in Indonesia can be traced back to the late 1920s with the introduction of radio broadcasting. Here's an overview of Indonesia's electronic media history. Radio broadcasting. In 1928, the first radio station, named Radio Batavia, was established in Batavia, now Jakarta, by the Dutch colonial government. Radio broadcasting expanded during the Dutch colonial period, with several stations established in major cities across the archipelago. In the early years, radio broadcasting was mainly controlled by the Dutch colonial authorities and served as a means of disseminating information and entertainment. National independence and state-controlled broadcasting, 1945-1998. After Indonesia gained independence in 1945, the newly established government took control of radio broadcasting. Radio Republik Indonesia (RRI) was established as the state-owned radio broadcasting organization in 1945, with the goal of disseminating government information and promoting national unity. RRI expanded its network across the country, broadcasting news, music, educational programs, and cultural content in various regional languages. Television broadcasting. Television broadcasting began in Indonesia in the 1960s, with the establishment of TVRI, Televisi Republik Indonesia, the state-owned television broadcaster, in 1962. TVRI initially had a limited reach, but it gradually expanded its network and started providing regular programming. In the following decades, private television stations emerged, and the broadcasting industry became more diverse. Liberalization in private media, 1998 onwards. In 1998, Indonesia underwent political reforms, leading to the liberalization of the media industry. The government opened up the broadcasting sector to private companies, allowing the establishment of privately owned radio and television stations. The liberalization resulted in a rapid growth of electronic media outlets, leading to increased competition and diversity in programming. Private television stations such as RCTI, SCTV, and Indosiar became popular and started offering a wide range of entertainment, news, and educational content. Digital media and Internet. With the advent of the Internet, Indonesia witnessed a significant shift towards digital media consumption. The popularity of social media platforms, such as Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, has skyrocketed, and many Indonesians now rely on these platforms for news and entertainment. Online news portals and streaming services have also gained prominence, providing a wide array of content choices for audiences.